And folks, it's time for the Tom Lacey Sports Hour with person Tom Brennan from the UVM men's basketball coach. But here's the host with the most, Tom Lacey.
Good morning, everyone. We have a great show today. Coach Tom Brennan is here, and right now we have one of his best friends on hold. I'm ready for him right now. One of the best coaches that I've ever known. Great guy. The utmost respect for him. And Coach Mike Dean.
Hello, Tom.
Hey, say anything you want about. He's right here. Oh, before we start, okay, I got something for you. Okay, this is my father. Calling in the the college radio station, a prank. You know how my father was. He didn't care.
Sure.
But here we go. Okay, here we go. This is my father, and you're going to get a charge out of this. Okay. Okay, here we go. All right. Okay, I got it. Don't worry.
I guess we're not getting a chance to see whether...
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. Okay. All right. Play it. All right. I might have to play it later.
How about show prep, Lace? You ever hear that? Show prep?
Oh, no, I didn't. I can't
He's
believe.
testing my patience, and I just got on the phone. I don't blame you, Michael. I don't blame you. I don't know how this all happened, but all I know is I'm in Plattsburgh, and I'm talking to you, and I have no chance of getting in trouble. That's the first time that's ever happened to me.
Well, yeah, it's because you used to call me at 6:30 in the morning when you had your drive time radio show, and I thought one of my parents had a heart attack or something. And then you would just go, hey, we're live, so I wouldn't say the wrong thing.
Well, thank you for doing this. I know you got a big day planned today on the golf course, right?
Well, I'm sitting up on the porch here looking out at the pool and the tennis courts. It's a very tough life down here in South Carolina.
I know. I shared it for a while. It was fabulous. You were a wonderful host. I want you to know that for me and Miss Lenny.
Yes.
Okay, here it is right here. I got it right here.
All
Ready?
Right. No,
okay.
We don't believe you, Tom. Go ahead.
You're on Thursday Night Line.
Yes, voting.
Okay, who would you like to vote for?
How about Homer Gatto?
Homer Gatto. I don't think that he's an announced candidate. Do you have a vote for either Walter Mondale or Ronald Reagan?
How about Homer Gatto?
Homer Gatto. Okay, I'll put it down as a write, and only because he's a former member of our staff here at WPLT. Thanks for your call. 5-6.
You remember that guy, huh? He didn't care about anything. That's a prank phone call he called at the college radio station at age 75.
Yeah, at age 75, he was a lot sharper than Tom and I were at 40. So,
you know what I was thinking about, my boy, as I got off the ferry? It's like perpetual. It's like your baby Jesus. I just can't stop thinking about you, especially when I come this way. And then I thought, you know what, the right thing to do is keep going to Saratoga. Your boy will win you some money.
yeah, we used to have some fun down there.
Oh, did we not? Oh, those were great.
Yeah.
My favorite is Tommy. We went. Mike would always have me down to speak. God love him, and he always paid me too much money. And then we'd go to the track, and I'd lose it. And so anyway, I got caught in traffic one time. I didn't get there. Like my speech was supposed to be 11 to 12, and I didn't get there till like 10 to 12. So I said, I don't know what to do. He said, give me your best 10 minutes and let's get the hell out of here.
You guys.
Wonderful time.
Hey, Tom, here's one for you. Bob Titson at Champlain has a clinic.
Yep.
And so Tom gets up and gives his...
Okay.
Tom Brennan is before me. So Tom gets up and he speaks and he gives his speech about his, my father, and I think he knew I loved him, but I'm not sure, and he's all, no technicality at all, no basketball, and then I get up after him and I say, well, welcome to the technical part of the program now. It's kind of like you had a political statement on there. Tom is left of Jane Fonda, and I'm right of Genghis Khan, and yet we're good friends. So I don't know how that we survive.
Oh my gosh! I don't know.
One way we survived is because every time we went out, you put a $100 bill on the bar. That's why. And I think you were making 10,000 at the time.
Yeah, that got us in trouble a few times. It sure did. Not many guys have been streeted from Sweetwater's, but I was.
Unbelievable.
That's not the worst part. It's the phone booth.
Yeah. We won't talk about that.
No, we don't. We're not talking about that.
We don't need details, TV. We don't need details.
I'm with you, man. I'm just looking to get out of here.
We did win the tournament. We won the tournament. That's all that matters.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
How's
Hey, Tom Lacey.
Yes.
Tom Lacey.
Yes.
We're playing at Vermont.
Okay.
And Vermont plays we have a very good team at Siena, and Vermont is in the middle of the pack then before Tom really got good at coaching. And and it helps when he had Coppernath and the other guy. That helped him too. But we had a very good team, and we ended up winning by 2 points. And we were very fortunate to win the game. And so Tom leaves the court, and everybody's telling what a great game it was and everything. And he comes in the locker room, and I'm in there telling the guys already, hey, you guys played your rear ends off. You deserve to win this game. And TV goes, damn, I didn't even shake his hand. He's in my locker room telling the guy. And I actually, it was one of the few times when I won a game where I felt bad. Not real bad, don't get me wrong. But I really felt bad because I knew the other team had outplayed us, and we were just fortunate enough to get 2 extra points to win the game. Always remember that over in the house of the cat lovers there. I love that place.
How about the first time he came? A lot of people were wearing green and gold sweaters because that's Siena's colors.
Yeah.
Also ours. I couldn't believe it. I said, man, this is like my first league game here, and there were like 200 people that I never even saw before. And they're in there with the colors on and everything. And found out they were the Siena colors, not the Vermont one.
Yeah, it's not good when you're at home and the other coach gets a louder ovation than you do. That's not good.
Oh, you got that. That
here's another one for you, Tom.
Yeah.
Here's another one for you. All right, this is the difference between Tom and I. Because Tom is a touchy-feely, kumbaya guy, and I'm a hand-to-throat counseling guy. So we're out at we're in Vegas in recruiting period, and Tom is. I said, "You going to go to the game tonight?" He says, "No." He says, "I'm going out. I'm going to go watch the sunset at the dam. It's the Hoover Dam." And I said, "I'm going to watch this kid from North Dakota that one of my assistants said I should take a look at." Tom had a much better night than I did. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh,
That's a good one.
Nobody better to travel with than Michael Dean. I'll tell you that.
Gosh.
How about when Mike was head coach at, was it Marquette? No, it might have been Siena. He went to recruit somebody in junior college out in Kansas, where every junior college is, of course. And and Mark Fox was there. Mark was an assistant at the time at Nevada. So little airport, not even Wichita, little airport. And so Mike was waiting behind Mark Fox to get a car because he had to go see these kids. So it turns out Mark Fox got the last car. So he's walking away, and this is beautiful Mike Dean. He said, "Yo, hey, you're an assistant coach, right?" He said, "Yeah." So, "Well, I'm a head coach." And the head coach gets the car. And I said, "What'd you do?" He said, "I gave him the car. What can I do?"
Yeah, Mark Fox went on to have a much better career than I did, too.
No. Don't be modest.
Mike, Jeff Holmes just sent a text. He said, "Tell Mike I said hi and always appreciated how much he helped in my coaching career." That's Jeff Holmes. So
Jeff Holmes is a great guy. His dad, a Potsdam legend and obviously a Plattsburgh High School legend.
Yeah.
And good friends with Coach Welsh, my college coach. And Jeff and Stephen were young guys, same contemporaries of yours, aren't they? They played about the same time you did. And those days of the old PBA tournaments.
Yep.
I would coach all season, play basketball try to get in shape for 2 weeks, and then come up to Plattsburgh to play just to see Bo and Willard.
Yep.
And Dirty Ed, those guys. Those were wonderful times. And Tom Brennan often made the trip across the spill, as we call it, across the lake to come and watch those games. It was a lot of fun, and a a lot of great associations. Of course, our relationship grew from that. You and I and TB and my relationship can't grow any bigger.
Yeah. Mike, I'll never forget the time you put one on Holman Harley. You flat out D'd him up, and it was great watching that. I mean, you got right in his face, and you're an underrated defensive player. You put one on him.
Whoa. Underrated defensive player? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Okay,
hey, everybody's got an opinion.
Okay.
I remember as being a passer, a shooter, and hollering at people.
Now, this is a guy who was ecstatic in his locker room in college, saying that he held his guy under his average when he held Maravich. He held Maravich to 39 because he was averaging 42 that year. So, it's a true story.
That's
He's jumping
defense.
around. Yeah, I held my guy. I held my guy.
By the way, let's go back for a moment to as wonderful basketball operation as I have ever been in. That is the PBA. I did that for about 5 years. It was 5 years. How about you had to play 3 games and you couldn't sleep? You had to stay up all week.
Marons.
Right.
Marons.
Yeah. I remember one time it was on Easter Sunday, and I had a Jurex turkey sub for Easter dinner, and then we went out and played that afternoon. It was an event that really became quite a thing. How about this? There's a guy from your neck of the woods, Nolan Archibald, was from Vermont, and I think he played at UVM, and he was 31, and I'm just getting out of college, and he was 31 years old, and he's on our team, and I kept calling him the old guy, and then 18 years later, I'm 39, I'm still playing in the damn thing. I wonder what the kids were thinking then.
And playing great too, Mike. By the way.
Right.
Well, until my eye went bad, I was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
enjoyed that. I always look forward to going to the tournament that weekend and the relationships and friends I had.
yeah.
But it doesn't compare to the greatest sport I ever played, and the most enjoyable thing I ever had was playing broom ball during my year coaching in Plattsburgh.
Oh my gosh.
I played broom ball. It's the only sport. Bill Selkirk, Willard, as known as Willard, got a penalty from the bleachers, and I loved it because they would put me in during the penalties because I ran like a duck, I guess, and I didn't slide on the ice, and I could run all day long compared to the rest of the guys. And so I was always in on the penalty kills. So I was always appreciated that Willard got that penalty from the bleachers, and I got to play for those next 2 minutes. That was a lot of fun.
That was phenomenal.
That's some crazy stuff, that broom ball game.
Well, I got other phone calls coming in. Coach, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure, guys. TB, always a pleasure to talk with you. Tommy, of course, it's great to hear from you. Say hello to all the boys in Plattsburgh for me. I got to go tee it up and chop it up here. It'll look like Afghanistan when I'm done. 1,000 holes, no waiting. All right.
All
See you later, boys.
I love you. Keep up the good work. Bye.
Okay. We had another phone call, or okay, on hold or something.
He'll call back.
Okay. I got some things I want to ask you. Obviously, you talk about the Pistol Pete thing.
Yeah.
Tell me. Oh, we got a phone call. Okay. Well, I always take phone calls ahead of.
Oh,
anything.
absolutely. Absolutely.
You're on with the Tom Lacey Sports Show.
Hey, Tom, how are you doing? Good show. Mr. Brennan.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I can't hear very well. Anyway, I'm from your past, 30 years ago. Our paths crossed. And I've officiated, but that's not where we met. And it started with you making a bet. Why don't you tell Tom Lacey in the audience about a bet you lost way back in the day?
Why don't you help me?
You're going to have to tell your name then.
Not happening.
Oh, okay.
I'm the ref, okay? I control the game.
I know who it is.
Okay.
I'll let him finish his story, and then I'll tell you who he is.
Okay.
Okay.
Snitch on him.
Let's hear it. You had to shave your head. And then I put Corman, the coach.
That's right. Oh, my
And then because of me, I think I put your radio show on the map.
Certainly I didn't.
Are you still? I know, I'm just up in Plattsburgh. I haven't been here for a long time. Are you still on the radio?
Say it again?
Are you still on the radio?
No, I'm not. I got a contract, but I don't work. One of those things. They fooled me.
Anyway, can you relate the story first about what happened with the snowfall?
I'm sorry. Tell me again. You're breaking up.
I can't hear a damn thing.
Maybe back up a little bit from your phone, maybe, because it's a little scratchy.
Right. Yeah, I can't hear that thing, Tommy.
Okay.
All right. Well, listen, I'm going to have breakfast with my granddaughter.
Okay.
Tom Brennan, 30 years ago, came across the lake, maybe it was 32 years ago, to shave my head. Does that ring a bell?
Yes. Yes, it does. But
Yeah.
not all the way.
Huh?
I don't remember.
For God's sake.
I don't remember much now, but I do remember.
I'll tell you what, I can't hear you guys. Tommy Brennan, Frank Bellicelli, you put me on.
Hey, my boy. How you doing?
I'm doing well. You put me on the map, that's for sure. That one particular. That was my 15 minutes of fame and fortune.
Well, you wore beautifully, my boy.
Thanks, Frank.
Anyway.
Appreciate it.
Nice to talk to you, Frank.
Nice talking to you guys. Enjoy the show. Take care.
Thank you.
Is he a teacher?
He's living in North Carolina now. He is a teacher.
I think he was a teacher up here, wasn't
he? He was.
Yeah, he had to get his head shaved for something, and I did it.
That is unbelievable. Okay, talk about Pistol Pete.
Okay. Pete was a year ahead of me, and it was interesting because LSU was not a basketball power at all, but when he was a freshman, they would sell out the freshman games, and then people would leave. And then he averaged 44 a game for 3 years. And 1 year, my junior year, his senior year, we were playing at Georgia. And, a guy, he got 44 a game. If you thought about it too much, you jump off a bridge. So you just try to do the best you could. And it was late in the game, and he was driving to the basket, and he knocked me right over. I mean, it wasn't even debatable. And he knocked me over. And and it was in our gym, and the referee comes up, and he was kind of a showman, and he said, fouls on 20. So back then, that was late 60s in the South. Nobody carried on. Nobody got technicals.
Yeah.
So, you had to behave. And but I was really upset. And as he walked by me, I said, that was clearly an offensive foul. And he did not. He took one more step, Tommy, and he turned around and he said, hey, they ain't here to see you.
And this is Pistol Pete Maravich.
Yes, it is.
It's unbelievable that anyone that guarded him wasn't having too much fun. So
I bet we went to his house after a game in Atlanta, and he couldn't go out when he was with the Hawks because people just mobbed him. He couldn't. He was like Michael Jackson. He just couldn't go out. And so anyway, so we went back to his house. I knew him for a couple of years at that time, and so we went back to his house, and it obviously took him a long time to get there. And when he walked in, this was 1971 or 72, he had on the most beautiful leather coat that I could imagine. I just thought, man, where did he get that, And so he saw me looking at him, and he said, you like this coat? I said, yeah. I thought he was going to give it to me. I said, yeah, I do like it. And he said, well, you're going to be a phys ed teacher, so I'm thinking 2-3 years salary, you could buy it.
Was he a really good guy?
Really good guy, yep.
Yeah.
Tortured, very, very tortured. His mom committed suicide. I think his dad did as well. And
wow.
Yeah. I was with him one time in North Carolina where he smacked a guy.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, and Rudy T had to get him out of it.
Rudy T, yep.
But anyway, yeah, Pete was a delight. He was a really good guy, great player. My God, was he a great player?
Yep. What was your childhood background like?
Well, I'm from Phillipsburg, New Jersey, which is down 87, to 287, and then about 60 miles from New York City. I played in a Catholic high school, and then I was fortunate enough to get a scholarship to Georgia, and I went down there, and so it was good. It was very, very great place to grow up and a great time to grow up, and I love going to Georgia, but I wouldn't go there now because of integration. I never even thought about it. I never thought that school was, I never gave it a thought. Because up here, you played against black guys, you played against every ethnic, it didn't make any difference. And so I thought, man, this is a hell of a thing. It was 1967. I thought, should be time, But anyway, really none of my business. I didn't play good enough to beef.
Your favorite college hoop teammate? Is he, if he's still alive?
Yes, he is still alive. His name is Barry Cohen, and he was we came in together, and he was from New York City, went to James Madison High School in Brooklyn, and he was that guy. He was the New York guy that came south and told everybody what to do. He was smart. He was smarter than everybody. He was slicker than everybody. He only got knocked out about 3 times, but he never changed.
Are you guys still friends?
Oh yeah, to this minute. Yep.
How about a high school teammate? Any high school teammates you're still close with?
One guy. He was a sophomore when I was a senior. A kid named Glenn Varga. Yeah, and I still see him once in a while.
Don't you meet, like in basketball or really in any sport, you meet such good people, and it's such, you just have, you meet a lot of people, good people.
Right.
And it really helps you down the line. Yeah. There's so many good people that I've known. Who's your coach at Georgia?
A guy named Ken Roseman. Interesting backstory. He played on the '57 national championship team that beat Kansas for North Carolina.
Wow.
And Frank McGuire was the head coach. He and Dean Smith were the assistants. Dean Smith got the Carolina job when Frank left, and Roseman got our job, Georgia job. So. He was good. He was a good guy to play for.
That's great. You were 2-time America East. You won the championship. You were 3-time America East Coach of the Year. And talk about that game against who, Syracuse. You got to talk about that.
It's amazing, Tommy. It was 20-some years ago now, right? Now, of course, I'm in Burlington, so, but it just don't die. It's just amazing, and he's kind of kept it going, because he's so cranky, and he just likes to bust my chops as much as he can. But anyway, when I went to ESPN, he said Brennan should send me a check every time he's on television.
You're talking about Coach Boeheim?
Yeah. And you know what happened? We went. Of course, I retired that year, and.
2005.
Right, and we had him. We had a radio show of our own, and called Corman the Coach.
Yep.
And he came on like 4 days before we were going to play, and he was just cranky. I'm thinking, why would you even come on if you're just going to be a pain in the ass, So anyway, what happened, and of course, as you know, Tom, being in that situation where you just shake the guy's hand and you get out of there. You can't hang out, and so. But anyway,
what was the game plan though? How did you have a game plan?
Well, the game plan was to see if they could stop Coppenrath and to try to pace the game a little bit, and nothing over the top. And then I said there's 3 things that happened. One was Carmelo was in Denver. That helped.
Carmelo Anthony's talking about.
And Jerry McNamara shot 3 for 18. And
my gosh.
So but it wasn't a good game. It was not a good game. And what's funny about Vermont, Tommy, is that we started off from 2003 to 2005. We won 3 in a row. When I left there, I thought, well, this was the greatest run. Nobody's ever going to do this again, and Becker has just lit it up.
He
unbelievable, really has. So
that's Coach Becker of UVM head coach right now. He's talking about. And again, we have Coach Tom Brennan here.
Makes me so proud, Tommy, to be able to go in there to Tom Brennan Court. It's like Dino used to say, it's like you got your own club. You got everybody in to join, all 3,000 people, and all you do is shake hands until the game starts, and then shake hands again when it's over. But I'm so proud of what's happened there, and so proud to be a part of it. So it's been great, and Becker has treated me great. The whole place has treated me great. So I have nothing but love for.
It is the Tom Brennan Court. Wow.
Yeah.
That is great. Wow. Talk about your wife Lynn and your children Kelly and Brian, and you have 4 grandchildren too. Talk about them.
And I'll start at the top. One of them plays at Exeter now, and in the next 4 weeks is going to be visiting Virginia Tech, Notre Dame, Michigan, and Wisconsin, and then he's going to make a decision. He's been offered all those places.
That's great.
BYU offered him big money. It's amazing. Tommy, a guy's getting paid now, you know?
I know.
When I was coaching, one of the greatest things to me was convincing someone to come with me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're trying to get this thing together. If you come, it's going to make it easier, and blah, 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 and really get into it, you know? And then when somebody said, all right, coach, I'm with you, I'm coming, if they'd have said then, how much you pay me? I couldn't even have done it. I don't know what I would have done. It just blows me away, and it just happened like that. I mean,
I know.
And there's nobody's got their arms around it. Nobody knows what the rules are.
I know.
You know, so
he's talking about people getting paid now to play basketball, which it's got to be tough very difficult to deal with that. I would not want to be a coach anymore dealing with that, and I think that's why some are getting out of it. Like, like the Alabama coach, football coach, he wanted no part of that.
You think
anymore.
about all stars too. Krzyzewski, Jay Wright, football coach at Alabama, Roy Williams, you know, and all pretty much for the same reason.
Yep.
Just didn't want to deal with that.
Your top inspirations, the most inspiring, maybe top 3 that you know, and that might be difficult for you.
And my father, for sure.
Oh, great.
He's a good dude. And I lost both of my parents, Tommy, in automobile accidents.
Oh, my gosh.
Different accidents, like 15 years apart. I'll never forget
being
at my mother's funeral and the home, you know, and then my father's, 15 years later, I'm standing in the same spot for my mom's funeral at the funeral home, and now people coming around. I thought to myself, how can this be? How, you know? And honest to God, Tommy, I've never talked to anybody that had that happen to them. I ask people all the time, and it's never happened. And the only bad part, not the only bad part, but it was like I sucked when they were around. You know, we didn't beat anybody, and then we got good and pretty, and I thought, no, man, they were so good to me. They took such good care of me, and I just wish that. My sister came to watch me play when I was the coach at Yale with my mother, and I was carrying on, and my mother said to my sister, look at Tommy down there. He's an embarrassment, and he needs a haircut.
Yale, that's great. I didn't know you coached there.
Yeah, 82 to 86.
Wow. Such a...
Fish out of water.
That must have been just a great campus, huh?
Oh, you talk about reeking of tradition and all that, you know, it was wild.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to do a word association with you, all right? You just say something as quick as possible, you know, I mean, a couple things. Taylor Coppenrath.
God's other son.
Okay. Mike Dean.
Mike Dean was an inspiration to me my whole coaching life. Real quickly, Tommy, Jeff Brown, you know Jeff, of course, who's now the coach at Middlebury.
He was one of them I'm going to name, too. So.
Okay, he was another star. And we were playing somebody, and Mike was scouting. Back in those days, you could scout. And he had on this satin Sienna jacket, you know, just like, like right out of the hood. And so I'm sitting on the bench, and Jeff is next to me, and he said, oh, look, Mike Dean just came in. I said, who's Mike Dean? He said, he's the coach at Siena. He came in the same year as I did. And I said, He said, you don't know Mike Dean? I said, no, I don't. He said, well, you guys were born to know each other.
Wow.
And that started it, and he always helped me out.
Yep.
You know, he just was, he looked out for people, you know, especially coaches. He was a big coaches guy.
Let's go to Jeff Brown.
Another unbelievable inspiration for me.
I love him.
How about this is a cute story. Danny Thies was Whitmore's assistant.
Yes.
And Jeff Brown. So Bill left, and Whitmore, he left, and I got the job. And so he said, the boss said to me, I want to keep Jeff Brown. I want to keep him. He's a graduate. He's African American. We got to try to hit that ball every time we can. And so I don't know the guy, right? I don't know him, but so Danny Thies came in. I said, Dan, I can't keep you. I'm sorry. They want kind of a fresh face there. He said, Tommy, I wouldn't stay here if you gave me $1 million. That'd straighten it out for you. So now the graduate assistant comes in, and I said, listen, you don't know me, I don't know you, but we will give you your next year. We'll honor that. So he said, no thanks, Coach. I'm moving on. This place sucks, and I don't want nothing to do with it. Seriously. So now Jeff comes in, and I said, listen, you don't know me, I don't know you, but I've really heard good things about you, and I'd like you to stay. I really would. It's really the first conversation I ever had with the guy, right? So
wow.
I said, I'd like you to stay. And he said, okay, I'll let you know. I said, well, you got 10 minutes to let me know, because I've been turned down twice already, and I don't want to happen again. He said,
Did he
okay.
let you know right away?
Yeah, he said, okay, I'm with you. And he was great. How about we went to NC State, and they gave us $50,000 guarantee, right?
Oh,
and
man.
80, when was that? 86, 87. That was a lot of money.
Yep.
And so we just tried to do things right when we went on the road, because we didn't have budgets and all that. So anyway, we go down there. We stay at this beautiful hotel, and we go to the best restaurant, best rib joint in Carolina or in Raleigh, and and Valvano is the coach. Jim Valvano is their coach, and so anyway, they rock us. They beat us by 50, and and take no prisoners, I might add. And now we come home, and the lady who gives out the money says to me, "Listen, we got a problem." I said, "What's the matter?" She said, "You spend too much money down in North Carolina." I said, "Bernie, we got it was $10,000. I said, "We got a $10,000 guarantee." She said, "Yeah, that's right. And so far the bills come to $12,500."
Oh my gosh.
So anyway, now I walk back. I still don't know Jeff that well. This is our first season, and he's sitting right at his desk. I'll never forget it. I walk right in. I said, "Yo, what the hell?" And he said, "What do you mean?" I said, "We spent more money than we got, and got beat by 50. Think about it."
That's
So
unbelievable.
He said, "Well, I never thought you'd be one to cut corners." And that was it. He was my love from then on, man.
Yeah, he's such a class act too.
The best.
I've officiated his games before and never hear a word out of him.
Man.
Never.
I said, we were having lunch the other day, and I said, you must have 200 wins by now. You've been there a long time. And he said, yeah. And he's so humble,
I know.
I said, do you have 300? And he said, yes. I said, quit being a jag. Tell me how many wins you got. He said, 500.
Wow.
Oh, God bless him. He's just a great guy. And
Yeah.
and you notice, Tommy, you've been around forever, and you've been here, and you've been connected here. And that is a big thing. That's how I feel about Vermont. I every time I ride through the campus, I say, you know what? That's my school. That's mine. We did it. We put it on the map. And, so I just feel so wonderful about that. And to be able to stay, because most coaches either get fired or they retire or they take another job. And that didn't happen with me. And I got 2 permanent seats under the basket, and I love them. And now I'm spoiled. My God, we never lose at home. It's unbelievable.
I know it.
So anyway, John's done an amazing job. He's handled the portal great. He's just a special guy. There's only 4 guys in the history of the game that did what he did in his first 5 or 6 years. We're talking like legends of the game. So anyway, and a good man, good guy in the community. People love him, and of course it's easy to be loved when you win it all the time.
I know. If Jeff Brown is listening, and I think he might be, of all the games I probably officiated 8 of his games, and he never lost any of them.
What does that say about each of you?
I don't know. No.
No. The fact that you got to say no makes it a but.
I remember Amherst. I officiated that game very close, and I have thick skin. I ended up tossing the Amherst coach with 10 seconds ago. He was really, really bad. And
and think about that, Tommy. How foolish. I'm just using myself for an example. Some of the things that I said and did on the bound. I mean, really, it's just like to what end? What did I think was going to be accomplished by hollering at people or hollering at referees?
Yeah.
Don't make any difference. I got a great referee story. Great. You got a minute?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. And I'm blanking on his name. Jim and something, kid from New Haven, and a good guy. And so he comes up, he does this a couple times, and I'm thinking, this guy got it in for me. This is nonsense, man. Forget it. He don't give me a break. He's always busting my chops and, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, a friend of mine who's a football coach at West Haven High School said, hey, Tommy, you ever get Jimmy so-and-so, I forget his last name, you ever get Jimmy so-and-so at the referee game? I said, too high. He sucks. I hate him. I said, he's just always looking at me. And, just we got a bad vibe, man. The guy, he's not, I don't ever want to see him again. He said, Tommy, he was my quarterback. He was my shortstop. He's the best kid you ever want to meet, ever. He said, go get it straightened out. So the next time he came up, I went in, and they were getting ready in the locker room, and I said, listen, I'm just going to tell you this. I talked to Eddie McCarthy, ringing endorsement of you. Mm-hmm. You are never going to hear a word from me again, ever, ever. I promise you. And we got a big call at the end of that game.
Wow.
But anyway, and it's what I think, Tommy, and you were on both sides of it, but I often said this. The coaches and the referees should meet right here and play golf for a day and drink some beers with each other, and then, but I don't know why we don't do that, or they don't do it.
Yeah. How much do you think a Big Ten referee makes per game? I know.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to say
a Big Ten pays the most.
$5,000.
$4,000 per game. Isn't that something else?
Imagine.
I know.
Wow.
But they can have that.
I think our guys get two by the time they get a room that they don't use. They get money from food that they don't eat, and then they get paid for the game and mileage, I think.
Yeah.
So.
Did you have Liberdoni for games?
Yeah, had him a lot. He was a good guy, local guy. He was a baseball coach in Brattleboro.
Yeah. Did you ever have Jim Burr?
Oh, yeah. We were supposed to be privileged when we had Jim Burr,
Yeah. Yep. Okay. T.J. Sorrentine.
Yeah. A tremendous leader. Of course, he made the shot against Syracuse from very deep. And interesting now, Tommy, is that it's not that deep anymore. People shoot from there all the time now. I can't even believe when he took that shot. I'll never forget it. I said we had a screening play that we were going to run, and I said run red. And it was loud, and he was at midcourt. And I said run red, and he went like, I got you. Put his hand up. Went, I got you. And then he turned and fired. I thought, what the hell are you doing? And it went in. And it was just great. And then he said to me, then we lost to Michigan State the next day. And tough game. We played them really tough.
Did you really? Okay.
Yeah, like 9 points. And they went to the Final Four that year. And Izzo was great. He was great to me, great guy. Mm-hmm. And so later on, TJ said to me, we were out. And he said, he's busting my chops. He said, I know you were retiring, and I don't know how ready you were for that game. I said, man, you've got a lot of nerve. I said, you took the worst shot in the history of college basketball to keep us alive. If you miss that shot, then you weren't ready.
Yeah.
So don't give me that stuff, But anyway, it was such a wonderful experience. I honestly got in 20 years, I had 3 guys that I wouldn't walk across the street to see, and that's it. Any other of them could live with me if they had to. So I was really blessed in that regard, Mm-hmm. And as Mike Dean said, I was a hugger, no doubt about it. And
Jerry Welch, Jerry.
Oh
right?
yes,
and
another inspiration. Now he was over here. Then he went to Iona, right? Yep. Another guy, older guy that always took care of me, always returned my calls, and whenever Mike was in town, we would try to get together with him,
Yeah.
So because Mike played for me, he told me, he said it was like coaching Rondo.
Okay, Caitlin Clark.
Oh, I love Caitlin Clark. I think she has done more than anybody in the history of women's basketball, and I'm talking about Lobo and Taurasi and all of them. Or think about this, Tommy. That girl, Brianna Stewart, I think she was the MVP of the tournament 4 years in a row.
Yep.
I think she was the National Player of the Year. And it don't matter. Don't matter. Nobody knows her. Nobody knows who she is. But Caitlin sells out every game. Or how about them not put her on an Olympic team?
Unbelievable.
It's millions of young girls that will never, from all over the world. God, you talk about petty.
I think Taurasi should have just been a little unselfish and let her take her spot. That's just my take. She wanted to break a record for most consecutive, which is a little selfish, but I like Taurasi a lot. So.
And she's a great player. Okay,
yeah,
she's a great player. She can really pass. She's just wonderful, and she does it every night, and she's done it under so much pressure for the last year.
Yeah.
'Cause they went to the final game 2 years ago, and then now they all came back, and they didn't get to the finals this year, I don't think, or did they? I don't know.
I'm not really sure. I'm going to tell you this story because we just talked about Brianna Stewart, and I haven't even told this story on the radio. So even though this isn't about me, it's about you. But when I was 6 years old, we all walked home from school back then, right? And I was walking home, and we're very poor. I'm the youngest of 9, and I think some of my friends are saying, "Tom, don't tell the story," but I am. So there was this
youngest of 9. You got it right.
yeah, very poor family. We lived on the railroad tracks, and this transient, he's at this furniture store, and he grabs me. I'm 6, and he brings me to the railroad tracks, and he violently raped me.
Oh my God!
And and then when I went to Oak Street School, and my principal was Bob Garrow, and I had something called selective mutism where I didn't speak for a long time, but he knew something was up, and he said, "Tom, would you like to start playing basketball?" And I'd say that indirectly saved my life. He indirectly saved my life, and basketball did. And that's behind me now. And I when you mentioned Brianna Stewart, you must know the story about her.
No.
Yeah, read the story. Read her book. Her uncle was raping her nonstop, and you have to read that. I admire her so much.
She's
and this was happening all the time too when she was on Syracuse. So I have no problem telling that story. Really, I'm fine now.
Well, it's good that you can tell it.
Yeah, I mean, it happens to a lot of people, and I didn't tell anyone for a long time, but I'm telling everyone that's listening right now.
Did you get any help at all?
Yeah, I wouldn't tell my parents because it was embarrassing. Actually, I didn't get married till I was 42 because it just was afraid of commitment and stuff. But I did marry the most adorable woman in the world. Unfortunately, we're divorced now, but I admire her tremendously. I have a daughter that's 21, believe it or not.
Wow.
And she's at New Paltz, and she gets the lead part every year. She's phenomenal. So, let's go to someone else, Bobby McKinney. You know Bobby?
Oh, yes, another great guy. He was the coach at Milton High in Vermont when I first got here. He looked like, and he still looks like he's about 12 years old, and but boy, and he was a heck of a player.
I know.
He always played over here in the PBA, right? I'm
yes.
pretty sure. He was really good. And then he moved to Syracuse. He moved.
Yep.
He left, and so I saw him at a Hall of Fame dinner about 2 weeks ago. He looks the same. He never ages. And
I know.
But he was a great guy. And you know what? And you know how important it is to, as I said to you, I don't know if I said it to you, but there is not a prospect right now in Vermont for this year. Like there's not a senior that you say we got to get him. Now someone may develop, or you never know. But Bobby was a guy that basketball was very, very important to him. And if you were on his team, it had to be very important to you. And if you have enough guys like that, how about this? My first year, I sent out about 50 letters saying, if anybody want to come to all high school coaches, anybody want to come to my practice, anyone want to have lunch, I didn't get one response, not one.
Wow.
And and it was just, guys, I don't know, there wasn't that commitment to basketball, and but now there is, and now high school coaches are coaching a lot better, and the kids are getting better, and all that, so it's really neat.
He has he's beating breast cancer. I'm not sure if you know that.
Yes,
he's beating
I did know that. Yes,
he's a tough son of gun. I'm going to mention this guy, and then I have a story about it too. Bernie Saplicki.
Old man or young man?
The one that you were recruiting.
Okay. All right, I got two beautiful stories about Bernie Saplicki.
Okay, I got one too.
Okay, we are going to get him. 984 Pine Street. The reason I know it so well is because I recruited his brother Keith when I was at William & Mary, and it was the first home visit that I made there, and I'll never forget 984 Pine. The old man was crazy, good guy, but tough as nails, and not a hugger. He was more of a Mike Dean guy.
Oh my God!
So anyway, when I went to get Keith, Bernie was in third grade, and he was such a good athlete in third grade. I thought, I got to keep my eye on this kid, So anyway, he has a great career, scores 2,000 points or whatever it is, and it's over. It's over. We're, we didn't get Keith here. I wasn't here, but there's no way we're losing Bernie, right? So anyway, we go. He said, "I'd like you to come over." I said to Lynn, "All right, that's great. We're going over to Saplicki's, get this done tonight." She said, "Oh, great, good for you." I said, "Let's get a bottle of champagne. Do it right." So. I can take you to where everybody was seated, Tommy. Everybody, and we're around the table, and he said to me, "Coach, I just want to let you know that I'm going to go to Fairfield." Honest to God, Tommy, I almost fell off the chair. I could not believe it. I couldn't believe it.
Gosh.
And I said, "You are. You got to keep your cool. Then you can't be a jerk." I said, "You are." And he said, Yeah. He said, obviously I love you. I love but I just had to get away. I had to get away. So I said, okay, all right, thank you. Me and Lynn took the champagne in the car, drank it in the driveway.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny.
In a losing locker room, we drank the champagne.
Didn't he come back to
yes,
UVM?
He did.
Yes.
So now, and he's got a kid that's a good player. Plays for the Rights.
I heard. Yep.
So his daddy, Bernie Sr., he went to the Cleveland Clinic and got a new heart. His heart was bad. He got a new heart. But, he was just, when I got the job, I said to Bernie, the old man, I said, listen, why don't you come and work with me? I said, I can't give you any money, but I'd love to have you on the staff. Man, to have you on the staff would be a big deal. We're no good. We're trying to get. So he said, let's talk about it. So he said, tell me about your schedule. Well, all week we practice. Saturday we scrimmage, and Sunday they're off. And he said, I used to get a lot done on Sundays. I said, did you? And he said, yeah, it was a really good time to practice Sunday night. And I said, well, I'm sure you're right, but it's kind of non-negotiable. We're not practicing on Sunday. Tommy, he got up out of the chair, didn't even say goodbye, just walked right out.
Oh my gosh.
So anyway, now he goes to get a new heart, and Bernie's playing for us, and Bernie would take a shot, and he'd make it, and I would look right over the old man and go, smile, will you smile? And I said, some people don't even have a right heart. You had two. Give me a break, So anyway, Bernie has a great career for us, goes on to do nice things in radio. Yep. So now Bernie's son is playing, right? So I go watch Bernie's son the night before we play. Now I'm walking by where Bernie is broadcasting, and I said, hey, by the way, I saw Grant last night. He's a good player. He really is a good player. And he said, yeah, if he could make a freaking shot, he might be a good player. But I said, you know what's funny? I heard that same story 30 years ago from your dad about you.
Oh, my gosh.
But that's a great basketball family.
I know it is.
Oh, my God. They were wonderful.
Okay, I got a funny story, though, and I don't know if you can remember it, though. But the Burlington Summer League, you and the William Mary coach were there. I think it was William, maybe another coach. You're recruiting Bernie, and we were playing against him. And I'm not bragging or anything, but I was putting one on Bernie pretty good. I was getting the best of him. And
hey, it's your show.
No, I'm sorry for bragging, but in any rate. Somehow the referees started making these calls that, I'm not blaming it on referees, but so I ended up getting a technical foul, And then I said something which I'm not going to repeat. It was pretty bad, and they forfeited the game. They gave them, yeah. And so when I walked off, you said to me, "Lace, that was a good one." I can't tell you what I said, but it was pretty bad.
Oh, man.
Lace, good one, and that was the end of the game.
And by the way, let me say this with all the kindness that I can muster. You were nuts.
Competitive is the word. Very competitive. Yeah. Let's see.
And how many leagues did you play in? You must have played 150 games a year.
I played a lot. I'm going to read some comments from some of the guys. Okay. This is from Tom Curl. I would like to ask Coach Brennan about Kevin Roberson from Buffalo. Tell me about his recruitment, his career, and ultimately his impact on UVM basketball.
Well, his impact was so much, you can't put it in words. That's how much he meant. He came from Buffalo. I remember when he got off the plane, he looked gray. And he was about 6'3", 6'4", and I remember my assistant from Buffalo, who lived in Buffalo, loved him. And I said, I don't know, man. I don't know. He said, no, Coach, he's a great athlete and great kid, great student, So, okay. So we took him. And when he came back, he was 6'7". He grew like 4 inches. Mm-hmm. And his freshman year, Tommy, it was just tough for him because he was so skinny, But he really was skilled. And I remember we played at Canisius when Scott Norwood missed the ball wide right in the Super Bowl. Remember, that was Sunday. We were there Monday.
Oh, yeah.
And he had a bad game, and he was so upset. I couldn't even get him back to work. But he just was tremendous. He was a tremendous guy, great player, and he was the guy that started to help us get good.
Was it a car accident?
Yes, drunk driver.
Gosh.
And his sister was killed too, and she had 2 little boys.
You've been... You've had so many of that. Oh, I feel so bad for you on that, man.
And I will say, he went to Charlotte, and it was when they recruited or drafted Alonzo Mourning. So Alonzo Mourning didn't sign, so they kept Roberson all the way to the end until Mourning came in. And then he called me, the GM, and said, listen, you keep him working. He can play in this league. Not this year maybe, but we'll bring him back next year. He needs to get stronger, and and he did. And then it was the day after my birthday. He went home. That was the last time I saw him, and that was that. But it was talk about having your heart ripped out.
I know. Man. Is there a scholarship for him?
Yeah, there is. Yep.
That's so nice. Gosh, this is from Jeff Holmes. Ask Coach Brennan to describe his journey as a coach at the collegiate level. Also, what advice, this is the main thing, what advice would you give to a young coach who wants to be a college coach now?
Well, I don't know if I can give much advice to someone who wants to be a college coach now, because I never was a college coach like this. I think that really is a big deal. And one thing I've been thinking about this when I was coming on here. My first 3 years, I was like 20 and 88. Okay, that was my record. It was disgraceful. So anyway, I just thought to myself, well, you're in a bad job. You got a bad job. Don't worry about it. Do the best you can. And it was like Pink Floyd putting another brick in the wall every time. But what helped me, Tommy, was, and I'll never doubt this for a moment, is that I loved winning, loved it way more than I hated losing.
Of course.
And the reason was we lost so much in the beginning, I just didn't give a damn after a while.
Yeah.
Like, all right, we're going to take our punches now, and then we'll get better and better. But there's no sense in getting crazy about it. This is what you got. And, so, but anyway, I had a great experience because every time we won, I was delighted. I never, it was like one of the happiest moments of my life when we won a game,
Same thing.
And then to get real good, that was neat. And, we had guys you could root for. And when Coppenrath and Sorrentine, those guys were like the Beatles. I mean, they were so popular. It was just unbelievable,
I know.
So, and neat to be a part of that. Very, very, very blessed. And and then I got to go to ESPN, which was nice. 4 years. That was really neat.
I
Had
bet.
some good times down there.
Okay, this is from, I'm not sure if you remember, Jeff Mungin?
Yeah. He's a Burlington guy, right?
Yeah. Have you ever thought about what your career would have been like if you didn't land at UVM? What would that have looked like? And rate the top 3 post-game bars in the Burlington area.
Well, one you have to take a boat to get to, and that's Muron's.
Okay.
Oh yeah, but Pidgey used to have a joint. We used to have a guy in the beautiful people seats, right next to the court, and he had a joint downtown. We used to go there, and my favorite was the Rusty Scuffer with Jack Fontaine and Eileen. That was just. We know we were going good when referees went in there after the game.
Oh my gosh.
Yep, 2 guys got let go because they got caught there.
For real? Wow, yeah. That's kind of unfair. You're MVP of the Olympics in any sport. It doesn't have to be basketball, but did you watch the Olympics?
I did. I that 7 minutes against Serbia was the greatest 7 minutes I've ever seen in basketball.
Yeah.
And made every shot. And then in the finals, Curry makes all those shots. So it would be. Also, Curry, I say Curry, but how about LeBron, what he's doing at 40?
I know.
And never did anything wrong. Now, he's been a little controversial here and there, but you think about what a role model the guy's been. Never got in trouble. Never had any trouble with his wife. I mean, just his kids. Bronny seems like a hell of a kid. Really nice guy, So, yeah, I have great respect for him. And to do that at 40, Tommy, you were playing when you were 40. So you know how hard it is. So, so I loved it. I loved the basketball. I didn't watch too much else. I like Lyles. How about the guy who finished second in the 100 meters was 230 pounds?
I know it. I know.
And he lost by a nose.
My favorite one was... what's her name? McLaughlin winning that 400 hurdles. She won handily. Do you remember watching her?
No.
Yeah, she that was my favorite. She's my MVP of the Olympics in my opinion. And Ledecky, the swimmer, and there's so many others, but Olympics were so much fun to watch.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch as much as I would have liked to, but
yeah, basketball. Okay. Your GOAT for NBA. Who is your GOAT?
The big guy from Denver.
No, I mean your all-time GOAT.
Oh no.
Okay.
Now.
Yeah.
And by the way, while I'm thinking about this, I'm going to send Jason Tatum a letter and tell him I could not be any prouder of what he did in those Olympics. I watch him all the time, Tommy, and all he does is complain.
Yeah.
And he's one of the 5 best players in the world.
Yep.
And every time he goes to the basket, if he don't get a call, he bitches. Even if he does get a call, he bitches. But this year, he really kind of curtailed that a lot. Really did. And to see the character he had to have. And what the hell is Steve Kerr thinking? Are you kidding me? Matchups. Give me a break. We beat the hell out of everybody. And the idea that one of the 5 best players in the world, you can't find 5 minutes for him? That was, and I love Steve Kerr. I've known him a long time, but boy, that was low rent. That really was bad.
Yeah. The only thing I can say on that, Coach, is only 5 players can play at a time. It's so tough. When they have 12, someone has to sacrifice. Unfortunately, it should not have been him.
Yeah. And how well he did it. That's to me.
He handled it.
They made him do it, and he was just great about it. You couldn't have done any better, I don't think.
And Halliburton, too.
Yeah, how about that? I got an A. I didn't even participate in the project, he said.
Yeah. They handled it well. They got the gold medal, and that how can you not be proud of that? So I definitely love the Olympics. And let's see.
You a college football guy?
Yeah.
That starts today. I can't believe it.
Alabama's my team.
Ah, okay. I'm going to Wisconsin. They play at Wisconsin. My grandson's getting recruited there, and I'm going on the trip with him.
That is.
How about that? Yeah.
Today?
Not today. They play on September 7th or something like that.
What do you think about living in Vermont?
Oh, I love it. Wouldn't trade it for anything.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about landing. When I got here, I'll never forget. I was sitting in the Sheraton across from the press conference was the next day, and I'm sitting there saying, "What the hell have you done? You were the coach at Yale, for God's sakes. Now you're going to be the coach of Vermont? That's supposed to be a step up, but I had a bad deal with the AD at Yale." And I remember when the guy offered me the job here, he said, "You need to let me know quickly." I said, "Well, I have to go home to New Haven, and I'll let you know." Mm-hmm. So I went home. I knocked on the athletic director's door. A fellow by the name of Frank Ryan. You might know that name.
Yep.
Cleveland Brown quarterback. And he was our athletic director. And so I said, I can't. I knocked on his door. It's about 10 o'clock, very late, obviously. He comes to the door. He said, "Tom," I said, "Frank, what's up?" Like, he didn't even say, "Come in." I'm standing on the damn steps. So he said, I said, "Listen, I've been offered the Vermont job." And he said, "I think you should take it." So my leverage kind of went out the window, and I did take it. And you want to make God smile, tell him your plans. I think that's a great statement. And when I got there, I thought, well, 2 years you'll be selling cars. And it just worked out. They were very patient with me. They were wonderful with me. So it was just a good match. Certain places are for certain guys, and that's the way it was. Like Jerry Welsh in Potsdam, I think about that. What a great coach he was everywhere. But that's who he was,
How did he get people to Potsdam?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Gosh. I have a funny story I want to tell you about. When I had Rick Carlisle and Hal Cohen on my first show. And Hal was doing his residency to be a doctor in Boston, and Rick was playing for the Celtics, playing with Larry Bird. He was actually in Larry Bird's wedding. And so he calls Hal up. He goes, "Hal, we're short 2 guys. Would you mind coming over and scrimmaging with us?" Who wouldn't want to do that? I mean, Larry Bird, McHale, Dennis John, So Hal gets on, because they're conference call, and Hal goes, "Lace, I'm playing the best I've ever played in my life. I'm not kidding you. I'm thinking, doctor in the morning, NBA player at night." So Red Auerbach comes in, and he calls Rick over, and Hal's thinking, "They're going to sign me. I can't believe they're going to sign me." And Red Auerbach goes, "Get that guy out of here before he hurts someone."
Oh, man.
That's pretty funny, But
from what I remember, Hal was a good player. He was
yes.
a really good player. Very smart, great passer, great shooter, actually.
Yeah.
He was a good player.
He has a state record for most consecutive free throws at 598. I think I told you who number 2 is, right?
No.
Right here.
Well, there
388.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah, so that's just for New York State. So so your grandchildren are doing well.
Thank God they are. They're all doing well. And then we got a new one now. Brian had a little, like a 4-year-old now.
Nice.
So
I'm hoping someday I have a grandchild, but my daughter's only 21, so.
No hurry.
Yeah. But so.
All right.
Okay.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. We must be about done, right?
Yeah. Any parting comments?
Just thank you so much for having me. You brought back so many wonderful memories for me. Just getting on that boat, getting off, stopping in Gus's parking lot.
Oh, by the way, can I take you to breakfast at Gus's right now?
I can't. I'm sorry. I got a date. So,
okay.
But I appreciate it. And Chris, thank you for all your work. And let's do it again. I'll be happy to do it again.
Definitely.
You let me know.
Yes. I plan on going to a couple UVM games, and I'll see you there and give you the high five, and we'll go from there. But thank you, Coach. You're
my
phenomenal.
pleasure. I can't say enough how good it made me feel and how good I'm feeling right now because just telling those stories and thinking about the old days.
Yeah. Again,
and you riding into camp on your bike.
Okay. Wow.
He was nuts, Chris. I know he's not nuts anymore, but he was nuts.
Yeah. Once again, Coach Tom Brennan, drove all the way on the ferry, all the way from Vermont, and that is so nice of him. Thank you so much, Coach.
My pleasure, Lace. Thank you, and best of luck with all your next shows.
Okay, appreciate it.